In my view, it's very important for us to preserve the planet for the future generations. We have an obligation to hand over the planet the way we inherited it, or even in a much more cleaner way to the next generation.
EDPR is a very environmentally conscious company, and I feel very strongly that our job as an environmental team is to ensure that that's always a factor in every decision. Solar energy is clean energy, right? It doesn't emit any pollutants. It uses very minimum water. So I think from that perspective, it helps us combat the effects of climate change.
For the most part, solar parks don't impact the environment that it's in. It's typically just panels on piles.
I think it is important for EDPR to restore land to the way it was after the useful life of the project has been completed. It aligns with our environmental philosophy. We want to make sure that all the uses of the land prior to the project being there are restored. So if that's habitat for different species or farmland, we have a commitment to essentially put back the land as it was before we were there.
Our land is very important. They haven't done anything that can't be removed off the land. Everything can be removed, it can be returned back to the way it was. I could end up back farming it one day. I hope not, but I could.
Very early on, we actually do a lot of studies, on-the-ground studies, to understand what is on the land, what's the habitat, what's the vegetation, what species are around, what wetlands, cultural resources. So we look at all different aspects of the environment. We hire third-party biologists and experts to do those studies. I think it's really important that we push for every project to be built in the most environmentally responsible manner. I love all wildlife, and so my team and I, we are dedicated to avoiding, minimizing impacts to wildlife and other natural resources.
Solar panels are intrinsically very safe. There's a very limited number of materials inside a solar panel. Behind the glass, you have the encapsulation material, which is typically polymeric material. It's similar material which is used, for example, in the windshields of cars, which is just two panes of glass glued together. Then there's the silicon solar cell inside the panel, and then there's either a back sheet of foil that protects the panel from the backside or a second sheet of glass. So there are no liquids, no difficult to handle chemicals in the solar panels.
The panels themselves are not dangerous to humans or animals. Everything within the panels stays within the panels.
It doesn't make noise, it doesn't make smells, it's not affecting other people, it stays in its own little land. I mean, it's just like having corn growing out there. It's clean and safe from everything that I see.
The solar park doesn't make any noise, it doesn't exude any chemicals, and it doesn't leak anything into the ground. It's the most peaceful way to make electricity. You can even have sheep eat the grass around the solar panels. EDPR has very, very high safety standards.
At EDP Renewables, health and safety for all those involved, from development to execution to our operations, is a key priority. We have the goal of 0 accidents at all of our sites. That includes solar and our wind facilities. Throughout the life of the project at our solar farms, we coordinate with local emergency services and local authorities to mitigate the risk towards the community. We have a long track record of safe operating wind farms, so it's really helped us to develop or have a good idea how we want to develop our solar facilities going forward. I'm really proud of EDP's safety culture because we take an active approach in fixing any and all issues that come to our desks. No question is too small, no question is too big. Any concern you have, we're willing to sit down and talk with you. We take safety very seriously, from our community to our technicians in the field to anyone else involved in that project.
It's a very safe way of making electricity. It's just a miraculous device that will work forever. It will convert sunlight into electricity forever.
I'm very proud to work for EDPR because it gives environmental importance. It's ingrained in the way we develop our projects, because I don't think it's just enough that we're a green energy. I think we want to be a green energy, but also do it in the best way possible to protect habitats and biodiversity and natural resources.
I think it's a much safer and a much better for the environment way to get our energy. going forward. So I think it's a positive.